Hello, I am Vitold, and after the world got shocked by Harley-Davidson presenting as their first big adventure motorcycle, the big claims of it being a bestseller in the category don't exactly seem to have much backup so far. But this doesn't really matter, as this motorcycle is a revolutionary one in the category at least. It's got some stupid flaws and mistakes on one hand, like the windshield not cooperating with the handlebar when turning, engine not cooperating with the starter, and a center stand not cooperating and actually getting in the way of the side stand. But on the other hand, there's a brilliant engine, and likely the most advanced and maybe even the coolest suspension setup ever that actually works. And having said this, there are two versions of the bike that at the first glance don't differ much. Then, after you study Harley-Davidson's official website, or websites in different countries in different languages, these versions don't seem to differ at all still, except for two additional options available for the more expensive variant. But then, if you spend your whole weekend, or as an alternative you watch this video that sums up my last weekend, then it will turn out that there actually are many differences that may also be crucial if you are thinking about getting this bike, about getting Pan America. So since there are two versions, just a Pan America, which you may call standard, and I'll call it standard, and then there is a Pan America Special, and I will tell you what both come equipped with, then what's different in the Special, or what more it's got comparing to the standard, then what options for an extra charge the Special has on the list that the standard one doesn't. While if you are looking for a full in-depth review of the bike, then later I suggest that you head to the link in the description where you will see what works in the bike, what doesn't work on Pan America, what it is like to ride, and boy oh boy, there are surprises, especially at the end of that video. If there is one thing that I will not mention here to not kill the bike in your eyes, I myself discovered it accidentally during my last minutes with Harley, and I'm glad it hadn't happened earlier, as it might have changed my overall perspective and my overall positive impression of it being a super high-tech fridge and sofa in one, both on wheels. Alright, so what both versions have is the same two-cylinder V-shaped engine with 1252 cubic centimeters of displacement, powerful 150 horsepower, and still plenty because 128 newton-meters of torque. Both have the same fuel tank capacity of 21.2 liters and the same sized wheels that include 19-inch rim in the front and a 17-inch rim in the rear. Nothing changes here, unlike in some other competitors from, let's say, Triumph, BMW, or Suzuki, for example. They here both have the same linked brakes with cornering ABS. Linked means in this case that the rear brake works with the front brake. There's also traction control to save you coming out from a corner all warmed up, unlike on any other Harley so far. Then there is Bluetooth connectivity with your phone that you may work with via the same TFT screen that's actually working also as a touch screen. This is more of a, let's say, supporting gimmick, but as an addition to normally working buttons, I think it's fine this way. The screen can be in white or black color and can have some information customized there if you'd like that. Both versions come with heel hold and chain drive. And now a point that's not as clear, not many media pay attention to it, but if we should believe in this case what Harley tells us, then also both variants are having automatic preload control in their rear suspension, also already with semi-active damping. And to clarify, in the front, only the Special version has electronically adjustable settings and this semi-active damping. In the rear, in other words, it should be self-leveling in both versions. This is verified with Harley's specification sheet in a few markets, and they all state it. So in this case, I'm kind of ready to believe this one. In most places you will find an information that comes from a not very clear press release by Harley about the Special version from 2021, that semi-active suspension is there. And they don't say that it's not there or that it's only in the rear in the standard version, but then on their website I've found that information. So automatic preload in both, semi-active damping in the rear in both as well. And then Special also has semi-active damping in the front. I'll stick to that here, but know that this information might have been misinterpreted by different media sources. So if you see them say something else, I suggest you head to Harley and ask them directly. They probably will not know, so send them to their own website. What else can we do? Both versions also have height adjustable seat in 2 positions and the same height adjustable windshield. It's also already there. You won't be missing out on cruise control, no need to worry about that in both. Riding modes, where Special actually has some additional modes, but I guess we can classify the feature or the functionality as the same sort of feature, especially that the Standard isn't really missing anything significant in this field in terms of those riding modes. The last thing is that both have a quick shifter on the list of accessories, and it makes sense to get it, I think. However, this requires an installation by a dealer due to the need of updating the bike's software then, and that's basically it when it comes to equipment on both. Some of you ask me what office chair it is that I'm sitting on. It's an electrically adjustable 7G11 with some amazing functionalities, so check it out at powerseats.eu. And now it's time for the party with the special one and what it's coming with as an extra. That's included in its 8% higher price in euros in the place where I live, or 10% larger difference in, for example, Germany, or 15% more difference between the versions if you are in the US for whatever reason, at least in the first half of 2023. We'll see how it defines later. Now, moving to eating the cake, and the difference is already there between the ordinary or the Standard and the Special version. We've got the biggest advantage of them all and the most important feature since Henry Ford. That is, guess, that is colors that are other than only black on Pan America non-Special. I mean, the others than black are on Pan America Special. The only black and others, as long as they are black, are on non-Special, so the Standard. Anyway, there's black too on Pan America Special, but at the moment of recording this video, there are 2 more colors, making a total of 3 colors for the Special version. Now, getting to the stuff that matters less but is still there and you should know about it if you are making your choice. There is a cornering LED light in the Special, while there is just a main lamp in the common or the Standard Pan America. The cornering part is the separate panel over the main lamp, so that was easy. Then not so easy, and a very, very, in my opinion, important piece of equipment that's for whatever stupid reason only in Special, and it's tire pressure monitoring system. Like, seriously, Harley? Missing out on this is, I think, like buying a car with no airbag. It can actually be key in safe riding, especially when it's wet or cold. But you would be wrong thinking that this is the only absurd thing out there, because only Pan America Special comes with a steering damper. Is this something worth saving on and still, releasing the bike without it on the market? I'm not sure. You guys tell me what you think. Then there are handguards in the Special, crash bars already there as well, center stand, heated grips with a dedicated switch, and all right. Then there is one more thing, a small but fun one, I think. So a height adjustable rear brake lever, and you just flip it upside down and have it higher or lower this way. The not so special Harley doesn't have that. It also doesn't have an aluminum engine guard, but a plastic piece instead. And now I'll tell you about one more area that is different and big, and then there will be a thing that broke my perspective of the world, and I cannot believe that it's true, and I hope that the data is wrong here. So then please, someone with a Pan America that's not Special, please confirm that. Alright, so the first normal thing, and likely a key difference, is fully electronically adjustable semi-active suspension in Pan America Special. So not only is it semi-active in the front and in the rear, as opposed to what Harley tells us about the base version being semi-active in the rear only, but it is also adjustable electronically, while in the base version the front is manually adjustable only. And now that killer difference that basically makes the Pan America Normal a deal breaker that should get crossed out from any list you guys and myself might have ever made, as only in the Special you're getting an outside temperature gauge. I really don't know how to comment on it, so I'll just jump to the third last difference, and seat height, that aside the semi-active suspension topic, is actually not anywhere and ever resolved by anyone inside or outside Harley-Davidson. Here, Harley's website, where I attempted to confirm some of the data, is inconsistent, and in some languages it says one thing, while in others it says something else. And I understand that converting units from American and English inches to European millimeters centimeters and laser meters creates a certain difficulty, but even within the European continent, there are differences stated by Harley for the same version. Most actually state that Pan America Special has its seat height at 85 centimeters, and moving it to the second position, which is taller, it's set at 87.5 centimeters. I rode such a bike and I kind of feel that this should be true numbers for the special, so let's stick to them. And then here comes the regular, not special, but here very special actually, version, as no one seems to know it well enough, that's according to some Harley sources actually taller at 86.9 centimeters in the lower position and 89.4 centimeters in the taller position. The Germans say so, so I believe them for some reason, but then even on the German website, if you look closely and overlap the images of one Pan America and the other, the special one, and do something like this, just flipping them next to one and then the other, there actually is no difference. Well, it may be just Photoshop or whatever, but almost 2 centimeters are a significant difference that should and would be easily seen in such a picture comparison. In the end of the day, we won't solve this anyway, but be warned that there is something going on and there might be differences, and I'm afraid that your dealer may also not be certain about it either, but go ahead and test them. Let's see what they say. The last two differences are short and quick, and its weight that starts from 245 kilograms with fuel already for the base version all the way to 258 kilograms of the special version. There's more stuff, so that's understandable, especially considering crash bars, aluminum engine guard and hand guards probably aren't the heaviest part, but they are there, and some other things. And of course, those temperature and tire pressure sensors are also there, which likely are the biggest saving in the weight saving in the non-special version. And the last difference is the price itself, which being different in some markets, I suggest that you check yourselves for your specific country. Let's hope that Harley is having this at least under control in terms of data that they provide. But that's not the end, because of options and things that in my eyes make Pan America Special, in fact, special only if that thing is added to it. Otherwise, it's an imposter, isn't it? It's spoked wheels. Who would have expected? And I'm a little bit kidding, but they are actually an option only for the Pan America Special. So there you have it. What I meant actually is a system called Adaptive Ride Height, which you may see as also an abbreviation of ARH, since Americans like to play with letters, and it's a height adaptive suspension, not exactly height adjustable, but adaptive. Let's not confuse it here. The system can make the original seat height at the same time in the special drop from those 85 to 83 centimeters at the standstill. When you start off, it automatically raises back to normal in order to then drop once you're going to stop or are already stopped. There are certain options here to choose from, which I go through actually in my full review, because you may also lock it in the top position so that it doesn't drop, for off-roading, for example, if you're taking it there. There's a link in the description in the full review, you'll see that there. And I believe it's a fantastic invention, really, and it works. I tried that, I confirmed that, I felt and I love the idea. And what it also means that there is one last difference that may matter to you, and that's ground clearance. Normally you're getting 21 centimeters, which is I think a lot, but with the suspension lowering itself at the standstill, if you allow it of course, which you don't need to allow it, it goes down to 17.5 centimeters, so 3.5 centimeters lower, and you are this closer to the ground to support yourself. One thing that's unclear is the case of a fuel cap, since the Pan America that I rode in Europe had keyless ignition, but for the fuel cap I had to still carry and use a key. Meanwhile, in some other parts of the world, Harley is installing keyless fuel caps along with keyless ignition. And other than this functionality here, the only thing that I might say that the equipment can be missing from at least 2022 after an option of a quick shifter was added is rear radar with blind spot monitoring system like in Ducati Multistrada V4 and then also Triumph Tiger 1200. Only in the Explorer trim. So it looks like a pretty unique motorcycle overall, assuming it is with adaptive ride height suspension that seems to not be missing anything that others can have on the market right now. A killer feature or perhaps a limitation that Harley enforced, this I've got left for the full review for you guys, so go ahead and see it, while I hope that you found all this information here useful as much as possible. So see you there.